Hello. Ndewonuwo ọmọ Ihechiowa Efambo Dr. John Kalu Ama Abmonye Ndokpo Ihechiowa Nkaniwo. Thank you everybody and welcome this evening. My name is Dr. John Ama from Diokpo Ihechiowa. By the grace of God, I am a pastor with the Assemblies of God Church, Nigeria. I'm a district superintendent and I supervise about 94 churches directly under me. I hold a PhD in counseling psychology from the University of Ibadan. I defended my PhD in April 2000 and graduated on the 17th of November the same year 2000. The topic before me this evening is Ihechiowa culture of fidelity and decency at the crossroads of modernism. From my outline, I am going to handle 5 areas. Number 1 is definition of terms. Number 2, what are the cultures of fidelity in Ihechiowa? Number 3, is there anything wrong with these cultures of fidelity? Number 4, how does modernism affect these cultures of fidelity? Number 5 will be my conclusion. We look at the definition of terms. From the topic, Ihechiowa culture of fidelity and decency at the crossroads of modernism, I have decided to pick 4 words from the topic. One of them is culture. The second one is fidelity. The third one is decency and modernism. We all know what Ihechiowa is all about. So, culture is the behavior and beliefs of a particular social or ethnic group. In this case, the ethnic group we are addressing or discussing the culture is Ihechiowa. Fidelity talks about conjugal or marital faithfulness. Marital faithfulness in different community might not be as serious as it is in Ihechiowa. So this fidelity here, we are referring to Ihechiowa. Decency most of the time can be relative. What is decency? Conforming to the recognized standards of propriety. So, there are some recognized standards of propriety in Ihechiowa. Then, of course, finally, the modernism. Modernism has to do with peculiar to modern times. All right, we begin. What are the cultures of fidelity in Ihechiowa? Well, there are actually 2 of these cultures of fidelity in Ihechiowa. The first of this culture has a direct bearing on the woman married to an Ihechiowa man, while the second of these cultures has a direct bearing on an Ihechiowa man. Let's look at the first culture of fidelity. Any woman married to an Ihechiowa man, home or abroad, whether the woman is an Indian, a Chinese, an American, a Briton, a European, must not live a promiscuous lifestyle. Any woman married to an Ihechiowa man. Now, if she lives a promiscuous life, it may lead to the death of the innocent husband. Now, if an Ihechiowa husband notices any promiscuous tendencies on the wife, he has to immediately sever certain relationship with the wife until certain questions are answered. In the second culture of fidelity, a man must not marry or have any sexual relationship with his late brother's or late cousin's wife. If a man or any man breaks this culture of fidelity, it may lead to the death of the man, this time not the woman, who consented to the act. So you see that the first one has to do with the woman. This has to do with the man. These two cultures of fidelity in Ihechiowa are like the templates for living for the married men and for the married women. These are like our moral core values. And I want to say here that any society that is bereft of core value system, the society is gone. Israel, the Jews have survived and remain strong today because of their core values which they uphold. The Jews have not allowed modernism to swallow their culture. In fact, divorce rate among the Jews is not more than 5% because of the culture and value system they uphold. If we can uphold these moral values, it's going to keep Ihechiowa intact. Number 3, is there anything wrong with these cultures by saying that a woman who is married to an Ihechiowa man should not feel free and sleep around with as many men as she wants while put her in bondage? Is there anything wrong that an Ihechiowa man cannot sleep with his brother's wife who has died, or cannot even marry the brother's wife? After all, it happens in other society. Your brother dies, you take the wife. There is absolutely nothing wrong with these two main cultures of fidelity. The first culture of fidelity could only be an issue of concern to a woman who has promiscuous tendencies, a woman who is loose. It's only such woman that will see that as a problem. But to a faithful woman who has a good home training, she doesn't see that as an issue. She doesn't see it as an issue to be faithful to the husband. The second culture of fidelity could also be an issue of concern to any man who lacks self-control, to the point of desiring his late brother's wife. We use the word nye nwanage, nye nwanage. Why must you, wanaga nwale, you now desire his wife? Come on. It's absurd. Igbo man says it's preposterous. If a woman knows that her promiscuous lifestyle may kill her husband, she's going to guide against it. This culture of decency will guide her actions. She will not want to be tagged as having killed a husband. Because once she's tagged that it was her promiscuous lifestyle that killed a husband, believe you me, anybody that wants to marry the daughters, people are going to warn, hey, be careful. These girls may be like their mother. My son, I don't want you to die too young. So, and no mother, no good mother will want to leave a bad legacy for the children. And so, this culture is enough to checkmate, guide the Ihechiowa woman from behaving like every other woman in the society. And again, since a man cannot marry or have sexual affairs with his late brother's wife or late cousin's wife, then the possibility of killing one's brother as you inherit his beautiful wife will be remote. In a lot of society, there have been some brothers who have killed their brothers or killed their uncles because they want to inherit their wife. But in Ihechiowa, if you do anything like that, the culture will not permit you to inherit the wife. And even if you decide to have a secret sexual relationship with the wife, you know what will happen? You will die. So, do you want to die because of a 10, 20 minutes sexual enjoyment or pleasure? All right. So, the other thing is, number 4, how does modernism affect this culture of fidelity? I want to say here that 95% of Ihechiowa people are professing Christian, 95%. Less than 5% are animists. This culture of fidelity is in tandem with biblical or scriptural values. The scriptural values demands faithfulness to your marriage vows. Scriptural or biblical values demands don't kill anyone because you want to inherit his property. So it's in tandem with scriptures. There is absolutely, therefore, nothing wrong with these cultures of fidelity. And there is nothing we can do about them. Rather, parents should constantly teach their children our Ihechiowa value system. That is what I expect every parent to do. Instead of trying to modernize it, teach your children the importance of our value system. I want to say here that good cultures and good value systems are not to be swallowed by modernism. For example, killing is killing. Cheating is cheating. Anywhere you take it, killing is bad and remains bad. Cheating is bad and remains bad. There is no modernism that can change, that can justify them. No. There is no modernism that can change them nor justify them. So, if these cultures are good, why do we want to modernize them. In conclusion, I wish to share my experience with my father several years ago. I came home for the Christmas with the first car I rode several years. It was a Volkswagen Jetta car. So we came home, parked the car. I was still living in my father's house. I had not built my house. Parked the car in front of the house. And then we brought out our luggages into the house. While my wife was arranging things in the house, I came to the balcony and sat down. I was looking out. And later I saw my father walking down. And he said, "Hey, John, you're back. Somebody told me that you guys are back." I said, "Yes, Daddy." He said, "Looks like we have a visitor in the house." I said, "No." He said, "Then who owns the car that is parked here?" I said, "It's my car." He said, "What do you mean your car?" I said, "It's my car." He said, "You must explain to me how you got the car." I said, "Papa, let's go inside the parlor and sit down and then talk." He said, No. You have to explain here. If you don't explain here, you must move out this car and go and park it elsewhere. If not, this car is not sleeping here. I said, okay. Now, my father was saying that because he had a bad concept, a wrong concept, that Assemblies of God pastors are very poor and they cannot afford to buy a car. So, seeing me as an Assemblies of God pastor owning a car was strange. So he felt I must have done something horrible. And he didn't want any embarrassment. And so after explaining to him and he was satisfied, we went in. My question is, what values do we teach our children these days? I remember that same year, in that same my village in Diokpo, I overheard a parent telling the son, look at, that's the son of Amma. He has bought a car. So what are you doing? I led the boy into armed robbery and he was shot in Onitsha and killed. What value do we teach our children these days? Teach your children core moral value system that they need to know about Ihechiowa and about life generally. My first daughter married 2 years ago. She was 25, 26. And yet was still a virgin. At 26, 3 days after they are married, the husband came to my house and said, "Daddy, I don't know how to thank you." I said, "For what?" He said, "Well, for everything, your help, your support during the wedding, but especially the way you train your daughter." I said, I don't get it. You've just been married for 3 years and 3 days. As I expect you, when you now all move together to Germany, maybe you can call me from Germany after about a year and then tell me this. He said, "No, we'll not wait till then." He said, "The way I met my wife as a virgin," he says, "is unbelievable that in the present society, a university graduate could still remain a virgin." I felt like weeping. I remember core values I taught my children. I told them, "I met your mother as a virgin. Please, make sure that your husband meets you as a virgin. Please." There are core values that you should teach your children. And these values, core values of Ihechiowa, they are good. Teach them. I have had some women who tell their daughters, please, make sure you don't marry any man from Ihechiowa. You know what that woman is saying to the daughter already? Because I want you to live a promiscuous lifestyle. What a mother. Very unfortunate. I've also heard some of our Ihechiowa girls saying, Mio, I will never marry an Ihechiowa man. What she's already saying, I'm going to be promiscuous. I will not be faithful to my husband. The Yoruba nation has survived today because of their culture of respect for elders. That's why they've survived. Whether a Yoruba boy is born in India, in China, in the United States, in Britain, in Europe, the culture of respect is a standard. Because this is what their parents taught them. President Obama modernized the American scriptural and biblical based culture. America was founded on the scriptures, on the Bible. But when he became the president of America, he destroyed the whole foundation. He ended up destroying the fabric that holds the American society. He told them, yes, in the scriptures, it is said a man should marry a woman. But look, if you feel like marrying fellow men, marry them. This is modern time. If you feel like marrying fellow women, marry them. Homosexuality and lesbianism was officially permitted. America has never remained the same. We cannot afford to destroy Ihechiowa by trying to modernize this culture that our forefathers laid down for us. There's nothing wrong with it. I want to thank you all for your attention. I may not have been able to satisfy you, but this is the much I can do. I want to appreciate Dr. Uwamuche for the privilege given to me, and for every other person for listening to me today. God bless you, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.
From beginning to the end, there's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself.